Okay, with this tutorial, I want to show you how to adjust line spacing and font within Google Docs. Before we get started with that, I want to make sure that anytime you're working with Google Docs and Google Drive, you want to make sure that you are working within the same account. So for instance, if I go to Google Docs, and I'll just show you here, if I tap in the top left-hand corner where it says my name, I have the choice of who I want to be logged in as. In this case, I'm going to use test student. And so now these are my documents for test student. If I click out and go to Drive, I'm going to do the same thing. If I click up here in the top left, and all Google apps basically are going to work the same way. I have made sure that I've checked test student, and so in that case, you're working with like accounts. It gets really frustrating if you have more than one Google account, and on Docs you're on one account, and on Google Drive you're on another one. Okay, so now if we go to Documents, again, here's the problem with Google Docs. When you create a Google Doc, and let's say that you are, let's just do MLA as an example. When you open this up, MLA actually says you should double space everything. Well, Google Docs by default on the iPad single spaces everything. There is no way of changing it within the native Google Docs app, but I've got a workaround that I'm going to show you that really is not very difficult. Okay, so the first thing that you want to do is create a document and type in this case, and it does not matter what you type in, okay? So in this case, I'm going to just type in 2 lines, and you want the lines to be returns. So, okay, so what you're going to want to do is click the person with the plus sign in the top right-hand corner, and you want copy link to clipboard, and you'll see at the bottom where it says copy to clipboard. Okay. The next step is you're going to go out to Safari. And actually, I'm going to get rid of this. You're going to go out to Safari, and you're going to get rid of whatever address bar was in, whatever website was in there. You're going to click and hold, tap on it until you get paste, and then you're going to paste in the link. Okay, and this is really important. You want desktop version. It's a hyperlinked link, and then you want continue to desktop version. Okay, along the top you'll see this ribbon that says the version of the browser you're using is no longer supported. Go ahead and click dismiss. You'll notice in the top right corner I am logged into that account, test.student@mcusd709.org. Okay, now what you're going to do is you are going to click and let's go up here and edit, and you want to, on edit, you may have to move this up a little bit. You want to select all. So now you've highlighted all that. Now what you want to do is you want to go up and you want to click format, and you want to do line spacing, and you'll notice it's set at 1.15. You want to go ahead and click it to double. So now you've got the format as double space. And now what you want to do is go ahead and do 12-point font. Click Times New Roman. I clicked the wrong one. Well, let's try that again. Okay, finally, Times New Roman in 12. Now here's where the important part comes in. You're going to click on this where it says normal text. I would scroll to heading 1, but it doesn't matter. What you're going to do is set a default. So if you go to heading 1, there's a little arrow that comes up beside it. You click that. You want update heading 1 to match. Okay, and so you click on that and let it work. And what you've done is you have set a default so that heading 1 is Times New Roman 12-point font and double spaced. Okay, so now let's go back to Google Docs. Okay, so now we've gone back to Google Docs. We don't want to work in that MLA anymore because that's just where you set the default at. So now you're going to start a new document and you're going to create. And so now you're going to go in and type, and I'm going to just use this as an example. You would obviously type your paper in, and what we would recommend is the way this works best is if you type your document and then click within it, click and hold, and select all. Now you go up here, so you select all, you now go up, and the A with the 4 lines to the right, you see the style. You want to find heading 1. And now your heading 1 is, and I want to show you, here's one issue that we're having problems with. But again, if you select all, what you'll notice it put heading 1. It did double space it. Some people will find that this will work and their default will carry through. If not, then you just go here and you find Times New Roman. Go back here, you click down to 12-point font, and then, and again, you got to assume you've got the whole document done, and so now you are in the correct MLA format. Again, kind of a long way around, but keep in mind, what you have is, on here, this heading 1 should always be, it should at least double space. It's at least going to double space for you as long as you set it up. Sometimes it will default to the Times New Roman and 12-point font, but you don't have to go through the beginning parts of this step every single time you want to do this. As long as you set heading 1, and honestly, it doesn't matter which one of those you set. I use heading 1 just as an example. As long as you remember, you just go in and your style for heading 1 is double spaced. Again, hopefully the Times New Roman and 12-point font carry across. At some point, I would imagine Google Docs will give you the ability of adjusting all of this within the app. At this point, it doesn't have it. So hopefully that helped a bit.